Hey y'all, it's Mazani and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you are new here, welcome to the Bloom Code. So today I want to introduce something new to y'all, and it is a code check. And a code check is when we take the time to evaluate our mindset, our habits, and our structure. With that being said, today we are going to be breaking down why most people are building a life with no foundation. Um, Me personally, I think this is a topic that has been swept under the rug for a little bit too long. And the honest truth is that most people aren't failing because they're lazy. They're failing because they're building on top of something that was never properly set up. When you don't have a foundation, it shows up in real life. And this may look like living paycheck to paycheck, not financially planning, always reacting to things that happens and never being prepared for them, spending with no direction and then wondering where it all went, and making emotional decisions with your money. And over time, all of these habits just compound into stress, confusion, and even more instability. And honestly, it doesn't just happen randomly. A lot of this comes from bad family patterns being passed down, us having a fear of actually facing money, seeing big numbers, and truthfully, struggle being normalized. A lot of us grew up seeing survival and not structure. And now we're trying to build off of the foundations that were set for us, and it's very hard. On top of all the other things going on in the world, inflation, poor government, and then you have some contributing factors. One of the biggest ones in my eyes being that within our 12, for some people 13 or 14 years in public school, nowhere in that curriculum was financial literacy. We were taught how to pass the algebra test, but not how to manage life after we graduated. Nobody sat us down and said, okay, now this is how money actually works. And conveniently enough for us, technology has aged so far that if you were never taught how to understand or deal with or use money, you now live in an age where you really don't have to. We have tap to pay, buy now, pay later, subscriptions. You go every day using money and really don't even have to know how. You could spend your entire life using it and never understand it. This is the age of information. And there are a lot of entrepreneurs posting videos. There are a lot of pages to follow and subscriptions to buy and packages and a lot of information for us to download. And there are people out there who download it and they watch the videos and they bookmark the posts. And they sit to themselves and they say, yeah, I need to do this. But then never get to the point where they are doing it. So now we've got a situation where we weren't taught financial structure, we're used to convenience, and we don't implement the information that we have. And that's why so many people feel stuck, even though they're trying. And this was something that I had to learn myself. My complacency with convenience and doing the quick thing had me missing out on vital parts of setting my foundation. I had to go back and fully execute without the shortcut. As much as they promote it, there's no get rich quick scheme out there that'll get me to my goals quicker than I'm supposed to get there. I was avoiding that work and working very hard because of it. And this last time, in order to really hit the ground running, I knew that to be able to focus on structure mentally and financially, I would have to sit down and spend my energy where it really needed to be spent. The budgeting app is useful as a tool, but it can't be the only thing that knows my budget. I have to know. The calculator's there to help, but if I can't add this up myself, then there's vital information that I'm missing. And the funny thing about success in anything is that you realize that if you don't deal with it now, you're going to have to deal with it later in order to get where you need to be. So now let's bring this back to you. Here's your code check. I have 3 steps I want you to take as we finish up here. Actually look at your numbers, not guessing, but knowing. I don't want you to guesstimate your check. I want you to know how much those people are supposed to be paying you. I don't want you to guesstimate your prices. I want you to know how much you need to charge. I don't want you to guesstimate your bills. I want you to know how much you're spending on living. Number 2 is accountability. Be honest about your habits and what's not working. The only way that you can actually grow and move into what you are supposed to have is to acknowledge what it is that you need to let go of and not beat yourself up about it. Okay? Save the sobs and the victim stories for later. And this is me being 100% real with y'all. It's not necessary. When you acknowledge that you have something that you need to let go of, just simply start doing the stuff that you need to do to let it go. You don't have to talk about the should-haves and, oh, well, I only do it because of this. Just let it go. It's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that you've done something that's been inconveniencing you and move on. And the last thing is implementation. Pick one thing you've learned about money this week, last week, something that you've known all your life, and actually implement it long enough so that way you can see its effects. If your life feels unstable, it might not be your effort, it might be your foundation. But the good thing about that is that's something that you could build. With all that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you learned something today, and I hope that this gave you something to think about moving forward. Everybody is very capable of building a strong foundation for themselves. We do not belong in poverty, and I firmly believe that. For every person watching this video, you have somewhere that you want to be, and you wouldn't have that vision if it wasn't actually meant for you. So let's start today building our foundations good and strong the right way. If this is something that you're working through right now, drop a comment below. I actually want to see where y'all are at. And make sure that you like and subscribe so that way you can continue to come on these code checks with us. Thanks, guys. See you next time.